It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is It's Movie Time.
It is movie time.
Now, Kevin, look it. We've had Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
And at the other end, we've had the writer.
We had the writer. We also had Secretariat at one point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we probably don't have enough time for the kind of good feeling.
Yes.
Horse racing. Now we've got one, I think we're down with the people here, right? With Jockey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small film.
Yep.
Not in every theater.
No. It's been knocking around for the last month or so.
Yeah. I think after Clifton Collins got the acting award in Sundance.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they call it, the U.S. Dramatic
Yeah,
Award,
something like that. And I think it did a limited run, like at the end of December, like the 31st. It came out in like 2 theaters.
Okay.
Just to get qualification for award season.
Yeah, yeah. And I think his performance is terrific.
Well, yeah, there's 2 ways to dissect Jockey. One is through Clifton Collins' performance.
Right.
And the other is for the kind of movie it is.
Oh.
And I mean, they're very obviously closely related, but I mean, Collins does a great job at it. I mean, he really dissects the character well. He puts it out there without. I think one of the things he doesn't do is he doesn't wring his hands too much,
No.
which tends to happen with that. And then you can look at it as a movie and as a very low-key movie, something like Nomadland.
Perfect, yes, it's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's that same Nomadland feel.
Yeah.
I mean, these are working class people.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a middle-aged jockey.
Which is old age. In
Which is
jockey
old.
terms. In most sports terms. I mean, you can bowl leading up to older age, but
Yeah.
you don't do a whole lot of sporting, any sort of physical activity once you're in your 40s.
I know. And you know the interesting thing, Kev?
Yeah.
He's 5'8".
Yeah.
So he's a giant.
Yeah. In jockey terms.
Right, I mean, this actor.
Yeah.
And so I was really interested in how he just drew me in immediately, and I believed him to be a jockey, in part because he was speaking the lingo, and they had to feel for it.
Yeah.
But I guess when his putative son comes.
Who's played by, is it Moses Arias?
Yes.
And most people don't recognize him when he first comes. He had a run in the Disney Channel. He was an old Disney Channel star when he was younger, and then he was in the movie. He played in the movie Ender's Game.
Okay, all right.
With Asa Butterfield and I think it was Harrison Ford was in that.
All right.
He basically played the bad guy. He was the heavy in that movie.
Well, he has the most distinctive nose I think I have.
He is very, he is, and that's when I saw him and he looked familiar, and then I looked him up when I saw the movie, and I was like, oh wow, because he's grown up. He played like the weird kid in one of the Disney Channel shows back in the early 2000s.
So Kev, what is it about our major character here? What Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that draws you in?
I think for him, what makes this sort of where the movie holds itself on is, as you put it, he's everyday working class.
Yes.
You basically have ultimately the story that you would have of a quarterback or an aging baseball player, like a Bull Durham type character or something like that.
It's been written before.
It's been, but it's been written with the big sports stars that get the glory. And what they did is they just basically took that story of the athlete who's getting older, who's facing his own, maybe not mortality, but the end of his career, and then it's him going and looking back in retrospective, looking at potential offspring, looking at old relationships, but he's doing it from a trailer because he never made much money as a jockey. He was never the star quarterback in the NFL. And I think that's what makes the movie a little bit different.
Oh yeah, I very much like Carney's. That they move around.
Yeah.
They have the trailer and
again another nomad.
Yeah. And somehow it still made me feel comfortable about them.
Yeah.
And especially because I liked his trainer.
Yeah.
Ruth, I guess that's her name. Yeah. Molly Parker playing Ruth.
Yeah.
And I thought that their relationship was really interesting.
It was authentic.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, she trains, he rides, and they have warm moments that are, I mean, there's no sex and no violence in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, but they had real relationship.
They have chemistry
They do,
in
yeah.
the background, and that's again because she's not some, you know, it's not like usually in a movie like this it might be the high powered doctor had the big idea, and here it's just somebody who works with the horses, and again it's horses in general are rich people own them. And the working class people take care of them. If you know anybody who's worked in stables, that's the way it is. And so the people who do the day-to-day work, they are just everyday working people who've got mortgages and bills that are due and,
Yeah.
and not able to keep up on stuff, and they're looking at problems in their life that you know, that magnify as they get older, and they don't have anything to fall back on. They are, and we see that in big sports movies about people who are down on their luck. But that level of economics for them has been a reality for the entirety of these characters'
Sure.
life. So they never had the big money and the big parties and the big
Yeah.
expenditures. They were always working class.
Oh, yeah, and it's shot in Phoenix.
Okay.
And I guess still a working racetrack.
Yeah.
And anything distinctive about the cinematography?
Well, what's interesting with the cinematography is it's getting a little bit of notice for that, and it's again, you know, I compared. This is going to be the third time I've compared it to Nomadland.
Yeah.
But it's that same way of the American West, the backdrop, but it's not the American West. It doesn't have Monument Valley in the background. It's not like a John Wayne Western. It's what the real American West looks like. It's very flat. It's very there's a
Yes.
light. You might have some nice things, but it's all about the vistas in the background.
Yes.
And the long shots, and that's I think where it finds its cinematic beauty.
Oh, I do, and I lived in Arizona for a while, so I know what those sunsets are like.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful.
And if you really want to experience, you can set yourself on, douse yourself in gasoline, set yourself on fire, and then you can be like it is in Arizona.
Yeah.
Where you're
Gee,
watching
I wonder
those
why I'm not
sunsets.
there anymore.
Oh, it's so
I
hot.
mean, at least half the year.
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
There's like, I have a friend who lives in Phoenix. He's like 2 months.
Oh.
2 months.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 weeks.
I was in Tucson, which is just a tad cooler.
Yeah.
But it's still, it is, you're right. Now, he stresses those sunsets,
Yeah.
and frequently has our hero set against that, silhouetted against that.
They do sit around and watch the sunsets a lot.
Yeah, and you could call it almost overdone. The metaphor to me is clear. He's at the sunset of his life,
Yeah.
even though he's only middle-aged, but they
He's
age
the sunset of
quickly.
his career for sure.
Yeah, of his career, right. And we can look forward to a beautiful sunrise,
Uh-huh.
and so maybe is there any hope here in this?
Well, that's the thing. I guess that's the thing that weighted on me, and this is a reality of the game, so to speak. Is, you know, what's he going to do? It's clear he is at the end of his jockeying days, and he takes his potential son under his wing, and is showing him the ropes, and you do see some of the training, which is again. This is not Rocky IV where he's out there and, you know, doing high-tech stuff. It's him, you know, riding old gear and learning how to do stuff, you know, very, very found equipment type stuff. But then you do wonder, what are you going to do after that when you can't ride? I mean, he could train, sure, but again, there's not a whole lot of money in jockeying. And they point that out.
Yeah.
By the time you pay everybody out,
Yeah.
very little goes to the jockey, and I guess that's part of reality for anybody, regardless of whether you're a jockey or not. Is there's a lot of people who have very limited skills, and they don't plan ahead, and that's a very normal everyday life thing. And I guess that's where you can you can take out of it into real life.
Yeah, and they're so seduced by what they do, their love of horses,
Yeah.
the racing, that they're failing to look at the long range of this.
Yeah.
and what's gonna happen to him. I think that's one of the good things about his putative son.
Yeah.
Makes him look at life quite differently from just horses.
Yeah, realizing there's not to make the point that they're not looking at, oh, there's something more to this. It's just they don't have to look past it now, and they're not. And at some point, you do have to have an understanding that that's there.
Kevin Carr, the movie is Jockey. What do you recommend?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's a slow burn. There's a difference between what it says for the character and what it says as the movie. It's not my type of movie. It is a little bit
And you
slow.
know it's mine.
It's absolutely yours, yeah.
Good.
For me, I'm going to say see it if you're interested, but know what